Great minds think alike. What do you fancy?
Good to see you again, General.
I never thought I'd say this, but here's the dung you wanted me to get for you.
Much obliged, General. I think that should be it. Well done, General. Your dung collecting days are over.
I'll mark the date. There was a glowing jellyfish-looking creature that stole one of your documents. I figured you'd want it back.
Glowing jelly. Ah, you mean the Nadari? Oh, it's claws. I should have known. Thank you for taking care of it, General. Go ahead and keep the document as thanks. I'm sure you'll find a use for it.
Thanks.
Of course. Anything else?
I'll be going.
Farewell.
Yes.
What do you want? Oh, it's you. You actually came.
Surprised?
Like a dog that catches its tail. All right, here's the deal then. That business in the mire made me realise something. Why should I hunt for my materials when someone like you could risk your neck instead? You bring me what I need, and I'll forge you something better than that thing you call a weapon.
And what do you need? Another wolf fang?
No, don't be so boring. I need the head of a Medusa matriarch. Bring me that, and we're in business.
A Medusa matriarch? Why in blazes do you need that to forge a weapon?
Look, if I wanted someone second-guessing my work, I would find myself a derelict. Come back with it or don't. Your choice.
I met a young dark elf by the name of Devlis. He asked me to...
Ah, that clawless cave worm. Got you to run his errands for him? Fine. I'll make the damned insignia. Normally I'd charge for this, but you did save my life. Consider us even after this. Wait here. Here you go.
This better work.
Well, if it doesn't, don't come looking for a refund.
You're back. Do you have it?
Here you go. I hope your plan works. I paid a small fortune for that thing.
Oh, thank you. It will. I'm sure of it. While you're here, I do have one more favor to ask.
What now?
I need to get a letter to Kelia, my love. She grew up in the commune next to mine and was placed into endurance last year. She doesn't believe there's a way for us to be together. But now that I have the documents, we could both leave. We'd be free. Please, could you take this to her?
Okay, I'll deliver the letter.
You're doing too much for the boy, General.
Oh, thank you. I'll make the final preparations while you're gone. I can't believe this is really happening.
That way?
All right, I'm going.
Well, look who's back. What do you have for me?
Nothing. I'll be going.
Are you sure? Blessings of the Exalted Father, then.
Are you Keelia?
I am? Who's asking?
I have a letter for you from Devlas.
Not this again. Let me see that. We can be together. No casts, no cage, no fear. Nor's claws, he's completely lost his senses.
He believes you want to run away with him.
Why would I want that? I told him I was happy with my place in the realm, and if that meant we couldn't be together, then so be it. We each have our own roles to fulfill. I should take this to the guard. If they learn I knew about his escape plans, they'll make me a derelict. I'm not going to let him ruin my life.
You may not want to be with him, but if you care about him at all, you'll at least wait to report him. This is his one chance at freedom.
Fine. I'll wait a day. If you see him again, you tell him I hope it's worth it.
Oh, you do care.
Please go before I change my mind.
I gave Keelia the letter.
Yes? And? Will she meet me here?
She doesn't want anything to do with you.
What? That can't be. Are you sure she read the letter?
Look, if you want to get out of here, you can't be distracted by anyone else. You have to focus.
I know. You're right. I can't let this jeopardize my chances. Well then, I should get going. Thank you again for everything you've done. I hope we meet again out there so I can thank you properly.
Good luck.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Here I go.
You again?
I'll be going.
See ya.
A fair offer. Looking for potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need.
Of course, take a look. You have yourself a deal.
This better be good.
Quite an exchange.
I'll take a
Need
look.
something? Pleasure doing business.
Yes, I'm
you
on it.
want it? I got it. Quite an exchange.
For the first few days of your journey back to Greykeep, Catras is withdrawn and quiet. But the more distance you put between yourselves and the Loranian swamps, the more he returns to his cheerful self. On one evening, with Greykeep looming in the distance, you find him surrounded by a group of Wolf Guard soldiers and Black Company mercenaries, regaling them with wild tales of his past adventures. Even Iria, who until this point had kept her distance, shakes her head and smiles.
What do we have here? Let's see what's new. I can take care of that.
The best wares from Kalea to Nortander. Farewell!
What's this?
Take a look around, see what you like. Well bargained.
Well then, the Queen will want to report.
What? And you thought you could just walk in here and all would be forgiven? You are a war criminal, Catras Vertarth. You helped Rondor Lacane in the Purity Wars. Regardless of what your intentions may be now, the Crown does not forget.
That may be so, but she needs me. Without me, my men, and the information I have access to, you will have a hard time tracking down those sleepers you're after. That being said, once all this is over, I'll accept my punishment, whatever it is. But for now, please let me help you. I'm trying to do good here.
Fine. You will be granted temporary amnesty until the threat has been taken care of. So will your men.
Thank you. Trust me. These technologies and new men I hired will be worth their...
Tell us what you found out about the sleepers and that masked woman.
I think you're dealing with the Dark Crescent. A group of terrorists that separated from the Exalted Father's realm. In short, they committed over 36 terrorist attacks on the public. Though they've never been caught, we know that it's a former sleeper who's leading them. A woman with extraordinary abilities, who burned down her wellspring and everybody in it before breaking ties with the realm. She's the one you fought in that village in La.
What more can you tell us about her? About the masked woman?
Not much, I'm afraid. Sleepers are stripped of their names once they enter the Wellsprings. All I know about her is that she's extremely powerful. Probably the strongest sleeper the realm has produced in a while. But who knows? Maybe that title will go to Sorobi soon. Bloody girl. Bloody stubborn girl.
Most powerful sleeper or not, she is made of flesh and blood, as we all are, and can thus be dealt with. What worries me more is that we are dealing with an extremist. This means she will probably not listen to diplomacy and reason.
Probably not, no. And as for the extremist part, keep in mind that sleepers are completely bonkers. They lack all empathy and humanity as we define it.
Meaning?
Meaning she probably thinks more like a construct. A golem, if that makes sense. Her brain has concluded that for whatever reason, helping Sir Evil God into our world is the right thing to do. And she's dead set on making it happen.
How come Wraith doesn't know about them?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Because it only just happened 3 years ago. Just when you became an exile, in other words.
How sure are you it's them?
Very sure.
Why did this Dark Crescent turn on the Dark Elven realm? What's their agenda?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knows. Most of their attacks seemed completely arbitrary. Sometimes they targeted members of the Soul, sometimes workers. Sometimes their only intent seemed to be to do as much damage as possible. Then again, keep in mind that sleepers, like all Dreamweavers, think differently than we do. There might be a logic in their actions that we simply don't understand. Yet.
Since you're speaking in the past tense, I assume the Dark Crescent hasn't terrorized anyone in a while.
Correct. A year ago, they just disappeared into the shadows.
To start harvesting souls for the God of Light.
But what interest would a terrorist group have in bringing the God of Light into this world?
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, then at least we know who we're up against. The Dark Crescent. The question is, how do we find them?
Well, that's the problem. As terrorists, the Crescent works from the shadows. So nobody knows where their hideout is, if they even have one. But my men are on it. We'll do everything in our power to find them, and we'll let you know once we've found something.
Fine. I suppose it is the best we can do for now. You did good work, General.
Do you think the battle in the mire will have consequences? Sorobi, Catrus's daughter, said she'd report us to the realm.
May I?
Yes.
Frankly, I doubt it. On the contrary, if what the Exalted Father wanted was to get rid of the Fleshkin without the involvement of the Strength, then if anything, we did him a favor. I'll grease some palms to make sure the official reports say it was just a mercenary army.
Either way, you must be very tired. Shall we reconvene tomorrow? Frankly, I could do with a small recess myself.
With your permission, I could use a rest, yes.
Good. Then the audience is hereby concluded. Let the ambassador know if you are ready to discuss further steps.
Interesting.
General, I'm glad you stopped by. Do you have a moment?
Sure. What is it?
I wanted to apologize for before.
Before?
The last time we spoke. I realize I may have been kind of curt. It's just, the Aliani are forbidden from having any relationship with outsiders, even friendship.
Really? That's pretty extreme.
I suppose, but it's easy when you never come in contact with one.
Sure, but you're surrounded by outsiders now. Do you agree with that law?
I'm not really in a place to disagree. My people live and die by our traditions. With my father as chieftain, I'm expected to uphold the laws, set an example for our people.
But how do you feel?
I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before.
What happens if you break that rule?
If the chieftain finds out? Exile. Forfeiting your place in the afterlife. Our ancestors were not jesting when they made our laws.
I know the Aliani don't like outsiders, but why is being friends with one forbidden?
Well, it goes back to our teachings. Indulgence, selfishness, violence. These are the downfall of the world, but outsiders refuse to recognize this. To befriend an outsider is to befriend calamity. At least that's what the wise women say.
So, you're saying we're friends?
I wouldn't go that far. I just want you to know that I'm on your side.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Actually, can you spare a few more minutes? I want to show you something.
Sure. What is it?
Come with me.
The market?
Yo, look at this.
Do they not have markets among the Aliani?
Very funny, General. No, I mean this herb, here. It only grows in the Howling Steppes. We use it to make a dye. When the wind picks up, the drying cloth dances in a swirl of blue. If I had to describe the Aliani as a color, this would be it.
Feeling homesick?
A little, yeah. When I left the tribe, I knew I'd have to leave the familiar behind. I didn't think I'd find any reminders of home out here. But it's also kind of amazing. I mean, here I am, far from the steppes, and here this plant is too. We both made the journey, and all the other people and spices and goods in Greyfell, there's so much here. So much I've never seen before. The Aliani never trade with outsiders. We keep to ourselves. I never knew how much I was missing.
This is your chance, then, to find out what's out there.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, I should head back. Thanks for listening. You know, it's easy talking to you.
For an outsider?
Yeah, for an outsider. I'll see you later.
What's this?
Want to trade?
Pleasure doing business with you. Come again. I'm getting new wares by the next moon's turn. Axes, daggers, swords, everything for the wary traveler. A fair offer.
Over here.
Great view, isn't it? I have to say, Greyfell is more fun to look at than Calabrock.
Is it?
Hell yes. I mean, if spikes and chains and nails are what you're into, I guess it's pretty. Not my kind of aesthetic, though. Either way, something you need.
You and Wraith don't like each other, do you?
Well, I don't have a problem with him. He's the one dishing out the cold stares.
How come?
Oh, it's always been like that. I never got it, to be honest. I think it's because we're so different. See, General, Wraith has always been the silent, brooding type. He's a thinker, and for him, motivations are as important as results, even if he never tries to claim otherwise. Take what happened to his family, for example. He hates himself for it, and he thinks there's something noble about that self-loathing. Almost like a never-ending funeral rite, you could say. I, on the other hand, am not a man for regrets. I act, I reflect, and I don't look back. It's almost poetic, that.
And that's why Wraith dislikes you?
I think so, yeah. To him, I'm a primitive, selfish, drunken brute whose recklessness is the only reason he made it so far. I'm everything he detests.
Did you ever try to make up?
Yeah, recently, actually. The day after we got back from the Crimson Mire.
How did that go?
Just how I expected. He gave the right answers, nodded in the right places, but walked away with that same sullen look on his face.
And that's all? He dislikes you because he thinks you're selfish?
No, you don't understand, General. He thinks his wife and his kid are dead because he was too selfish. In his eyes, I still am selfish, and hence, in that strange and twisted way his mind works, I embody a part of his old self. I embody the reason his family's gone. But then again, I might be wrong. Maybe it's just that back in the communes, I became quite popular over the years, and he didn't. Things like that stick.
I see. I've been wondering, do you really plan on accepting your punishment once all this is over?
Of course I do.
Really?
Yeah, I can't wait to rot in a mouldy, dark dungeon with a sultry torture mistress putting clothespins all over my body. Especially since, you know, just taking my things and making a run for it once the job here is done is something I'd never even consider.
You're right. That sounds so unlike you. This may sound a little odd, but I've been wondering, what are a mercenary leader's long-term goals? How do you plan to grow old?
Right into the deep stuff, eh? Honest answer, I don't know. I don't spend much time dwelling on these kinds of things.
Wouldn't that help?
Why? So that I can picture myself all old and saggy trying to resurrect the shriveling snake down there? No, I'll pass. The more you think about these kinds of things, the more you worry. Until I'm too weak to wield an axe and too boring to go carousing with, I don't see the point in brooding over the thought.
How's the morale of your men?
What do you mean, morale? The Queen pays us, we're happy. End of story.
Not you, though, right? You're not here for the money.
Oh, let's not do this, shall we?
Do what?
Solemn declarations of ideals, me telling you that I've changed. If my years as a mercenary have taught me anything, it's that words are worth nothing. If I had a penny for every time I told some rich fool what he wanted to hear because it got me where I wanted, I would be shitting in golden potties by now. So this one time, judge me by my actions, not by my words. Deal?
Deal. So, Catras, are you with someone?
By the Guardians, are you flirting with me, General?
Not really. How'd you do it?
Do what? Look so dashing?
No. How do you always make light of everything? It just feels like... I don't know. Nothing ever gets to you.
Huh. Let me tell you a story, General. Once upon a time, there was a dark elven boy. Like every dark elf from Calabrook, he one day found himself on a bunk bed in a dank room cut into a cave reeking of mold, sweat and boiled cabbage. His memories were gone after drinking the brown liquid, and everything about his new surroundings terrified him. So that's also how he behaved. Eyes downcast, voice low and whispery. Like the hyenas children are, the other boys quickly caught scent of his weakness. And so only 1 week after his admission into the communes, the boy found himself surrounded by 3 other boys, demanding his breakfast ration, mushrooms and a crust of bread.
What did he do?
He handed both over, and he did the same thing the next day, the day after, and the weeks that followed. But the boys decided that merely depriving him of his food wasn't enough, and spiced up their morning visits with clouts, punches and kicks to the gut. It went on for months, until one night, the boy found himself awake in bed, so deeply terrified of the following morning that he considered giving up altogether. He knew where the overseers kept the brown liquid, and he also knew that one of his brothers had ended it in a similar fashion the year before by drinking 2 bottles of it straight.
And what about Wraith? You joined the communes the same year, didn't you?
Wraith was one of those boys who compensated for his lack of muscle with wits. He made friends with some of the older boys by running errands for them every now and then. So when the boys who bullied me tried to pull the same stunt on him, 2 broad-shouldered 50ers showed up and showed them their place.
Smart.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
There are overseers in the communes, right? How come they didn't do anything?
That one's easy, because the whole idea of the communes is weeding out the weak.
Wait, you contemplated suicide? Just because the other boys beat you up?
Were you ever a child, Erev? For boys, the approval of their peers is all there is. And not only did the boy not have that, the others hated and ridiculed him. The boy had no friends, no family, no prospect of things ever getting better. All he had was fear.
But the boy didn't kill himself.
No, because when he snuck inside the laboratories where the overseers kept the liquid, he realized something. Most of his dread was fear. The boy was afraid of the grim days that lay ahead of him. The boy didn't fight back because he was afraid of the pain they would inflict on him if he did. In short, the boy was afraid of a future that hadn't even happened.
And then?
Then he realized that even if the future and the world were as grim and dark as he thought they were, he sure as fuck wouldn't give it the satisfaction of being afraid of them. He could spend his whole life in fear. It wouldn't change a damn thing. All that mattered was action. And on that night, he had 2 choices. Ending it under the assumption that it wouldn't get any better, or wiping away those fucking tears and actually doing something for a change. The next day, when the boys came for his bread, he broke their leader's nose. They broke his hand in return, but they left. When they came back the morning after, the boy awaited them with a bottle of poison, which he threw right into their faces. They didn't come back after that. And a year later, they were eating out of his hand. What I'm getting at, fears and doubts are useless. You'll never change anything by worrying about it. Just do all you can, and once you have, fucking stop worrying. So, do I want to see Jakku stopped? Yes. Do I spend endless nights brooding over all the things that could go wrong? No. Even if my fight against Sir Evil God will be my last one, I'll make sure I go out with a grin on my face.
What about Zerobi? Aren't you afraid of what's going to happen to her if she pursues her military career?
I had a feeling you'd bring that up. Yes, Erev. I am afraid. But I offered her a way out and she didn't want it. It's all up to her now, as much as it fucking hurts.
I don't buy it. There must be something you're afraid of.
I never said I wasn't. I just try to keep my fears in check, and judging by the way you perceive me, it seems to work just fine.
Fair enough. Fear can be useful, though. It can raise your awareness of dangers.
Really? Do you need to tell yourself over and over that putting your hand in a fire will burn you? You can assess the risks of a situation and act accordingly. But once that's done, focus on your actions rather than the possible outcomes.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing that with me.
Glad to be of service.
I'll be going.
So long.
This way.
What do you mean, no? You have to send someone.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Look, I'm sure he'll turn up.
No, you don't understand. I demand to speak to your superior.
What's going on here?
Oh, General. Beg your pardon. I was just...
A general? Guardians be praised. You could do something.
I was just telling...
More excuses. My son, Aston, is in danger and the guard won't send someone to find him.
Ma'am, as I've already told you, that's not something the Royal Army does.
Why do you think your son is in danger?
That foolish boy is always running off to have adventures. It's nonsense, but this last time he waved some strange, dusty amulet in front of my face, which he apparently found here in Greykeep, and that he would use it to save the world with his friends. I forbid him to leave the city, but poof, suddenly he's go-
Hold on. Amulet? Ancient?
Yes?
You sound concerned, Private.
Well, it's just... Corporal Tahar's channeling amulet disappeared from his former chambers 2 weeks ago.
Hold on. Are you insinuating that my son, stole it?
I'm not insinuating anything, ma'am. However, General Arif, this might be worth looking into. If this really is Tahar's amulet, then it might be of great help in the Wolf Guard's mission.
I don't know what's more shocking. That you refuse to help me until there's the prospect of material gain, or that you actually believe that my poor baby stole from the fabled Corporal Tahar. Oh well, I suppose we have to make do with what we have.
What does this channeling amulet do?
You should probably ask a circle mage about that. The way I understood it, it allowed Tahar to channel energy on the battlefield in order to create a Titan.
Titan?
Yes. A projection of his soldiers' spirits is how Circle Mage Undergast called it. Depending on under whose banner he conjured it, it was different. Apparently Tahar found it in some Hibernian ruin. I never saw these Titans, though, so it might just be hogwash.
When you say adventures, what exactly do you mean?
Well, he fancies himself a hero. Spends all day imagining himself besting monsters rather than focusing on his studies. And then he runs off to do guardians know what.
Why don't you look for him yourself if you're so worried?
What kind of question is that? Do I look like I can go traipsing around in the wild? I'm not a warrior, General.
Did he say anything about where he was going? Or how he intended to save the world with this artifact?
Well, not really, but he kept talking about a ruin near a mining village. Oh, my poor baby. You'll look for him, right, General? He's a handsome boy, noble face.
Don't worry. I'll find your son and return him to you.
Guardians be praised. Thank you, General. That's a great relief. Tell him to come back to Mama once you've found him. I'm sure he already misses me.
How couldn't he?
What do we have here?
Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Come take a look. I'm sure I've got something that might spark your interest. You know how to bargain, don't you? Armors and shields. Everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords. Come again. May
Out of the
Tiara
way.
bless your path. Good choice.
Okay, here we go. No problem.
Looking for potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need. Come again. May Tiara bless your path.
Hi, what you looking for? Come again.
Stay close.
Ugh. Why is everything still spinning?
How are the rebels doing?
Malik tells me we're really close. Just waiting on a few more mercenaries to make it past the Windwall border. I'll let you know as soon as we're ready to make our move.
See you later, Rara.
See ya.
Ah, Erev. Look what I found.
Brandy?
Not just any brandy. The brandy. Vintage 44-412. Right from Windholm's finest distilleries. Rara gave it to me.
Well, someone looks happy today. What's the occasion?
Hey, we found a tool to identify the corrupted, didn't we? And since Wraith is all busy preparing for that ritual, we might as well kick back in the meantime. And also, never mind.
All right, give me a sip.
What, here? No way. Come on, I know a good spot. Yeah, I know what you mean. Wraith can be quite the iceberg sometimes. Honestly, I still don't know what to make of him sometimes. He just seems so detached from everything.
He's been through a lot.
I know. Tell me, Aerith. Do you think it'll work? Are we going to stop Jakku just by hunting down the corrupted?
It will.
So optimistic. I like that about you, Aerith. I always imagine the worst. You know, that day before the battle on the Golden Road, when Tahar set out to crush the Purity once and for all, I was frightened to death. I didn't show it, but I was. The thought that so many lives rested on our shoulders, it crushed me. And now here we are again, caught up in some cosmic scheme that might end with the destruction of our world. It's depressing. Helen's reigns. Why did I even bring this up? This was meant to be a fun time.
A good conversation is fun. At least for me.
True. Still, let's get back to the drinking part. Here, take... Oh, shit. The bottle's empty.
I'll find us another one.
I don't know. Come to think of it, the headache will be bad enough as it is. Listen, there's something I wanted to ask you. Well, I've been thinking a lot, and... Ellen's reigns. I'm so bad at this.
I think it's cute.
At least you're having fun. I like you, Aerith. I did since the moment I saw you on the Keep's bridge, with that lost look on your face. I just enjoy being around you, and I feel as though we're connected. Not to mention that you're, quite easy on the eyes.
Well, the feeling's mutual. You're also very... easy on the eyes.
Oh, so it's all about the looks, huh? Ellen's reigns, aren't we superficial creatures?
Sorry, that came out wrong. I like you too, Iria. You're... well, you've become important to me.
Funny, isn't it? I was hoping you'd say that. I wanted it so much. And now here I am without the slightest idea what I should say.
Then don't say anything.
Look who's awake. Rise and shine, Sir Easy on the Eyes.
Iria? What time is it?
Early. Don't worry, we've still got plenty of time until Wraith's ritual. How do you feel, Aerith?
I couldn't feel any better.
Glad to hear that. Thank you. For last night, I mean. It really meant something to me.
It still does, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Are you having second thoughts?
No, not really. Are you?
None. It did to me too. What now, though?
Good question. I know this may sound odd, but do you mind if we keep this open? At least for now.
What do you mean by open?
Well, just, you know, relaxed. Let's not put a label on this just because we spent the night together. Let's just keep going as we did before.
Oh no, and here I had already named our kids.
Now you've got me curious. I'd love to stay a bit longer, but I think we should pay the Wolf Chamber a visit, don't you? Just to make sure the Queen doesn't think the Dark Crescent sent an assassin after us. Though you should probably put some clothes on first. I like the look, but it doesn't exactly add to your authority.
If it isn't the puny Paleskin. Yes?
I have to be going.
Yes, yes. Do as you please. Now, back to work.
Yes?
Farewell.
Good day, General.
What's this? Interesting.
General.
You still owe me an explanation for what happened in Calabrok. Who was Zayath? And what does she have to do with the death of your family?
And here I was hoping you'd forgotten about it. Fine. I promised you the truth, didn't I? I can tell you, but it's not exactly an uplifting story. Also, I imagine you have better things to do.
I want to know my allies. I helped you in Calabrok, so at least tell me what this is about.
As you wish. Come, let's talk somewhere else. Somewhere with less people around. Well then, you've heard about the blood burn, haven't you?
Yes.
Good. Then you know it only affected people who weren't magically gifted. I already told you in La that my family, my wife, and my boy died from the blood burn. What you don't know, though, is that I could have prevented it. I thought Zayath was responsible, but she was right. I'm to blame. To make it short, when the blood burn first surfaced, I refused to see it for what it really was. When the rest of our village fled, I forced my family to stay. And when it hit a week later, it happened fast. I didn't notice because I'm a mage and it didn't affect me. But when I got back home from the laboratory, my wife, Jerobi, and my son, Atros, greeted me at the doorstep. Their eyes swollen and their foreheads burning with fever.
How come your son didn't live in a commune?
Because we didn't live in Calabrok, but in a small village near the coast. Most children there are brought to the Calabrok communes when they come of age, but there are exceptions.
What was your profession?
I told you I was a mage of the intelligence. A scholar.
Yes, but how did you provide for your family? Research alone doesn't pay for food.
It does in the realm. If you're a part of the intelligence and the Council deems the focus of your work worthy, it will provide for you as long as you pursue your studies. That's what Zayath and I did in that village. We studied the nature of life and death.
What were they like? Atros and Jerobi?
Different than me. Atros was only 7 when he died, but he took after Jerobi. Good-hearted and optimistic. I never understood how she did it. She had been through hell, and yet she didn't let it bring her down. Still don't understand what she saw in a pessimist like me.
I understand her. You're intelligent and you're kind.
What makes you think I'm kind?
I don't know. It's just something about you. You're distant and withdrawn, but I can tell.
If you say so.
Why didn't you flee with the others?
Well, what I told Jirobi was that the rumors were superstitious nonsense. A plague that spreads through a song in the wind. Nonsense.
Only that wasn't the full truth.
Mostly I ignored it because I was too absorbed with myself. All I cared about was my work. My experiments. I was on the verge of a breakthrough, and had I abandoned the laboratory, they would have failed. So I rationalized the danger, and stayed. I spent the next fortnight watching them die. And there was nothing I could do. All my life I'd spent studying the nature of life and death. Yet they withered away right before my eyes.
You're a mage. Did you try to heal them?
Of course I did. But it was pointless. And even though I tried to tell myself otherwise, I knew it the moment they opened that door.
Huh. And that's when you broke ties with the realm?
Ugh, I didn't break ties. I just ran. To tell you the truth, I don't even remember. It was all blurry. Fragments. I must have spent at least a moon in my home, drinking myself to oblivion. When I finally came to my senses, I was lying in an abandoned fisherman's hut somewhere in the swamps, covered in dirt and bug bites.
That must have been just weeks before you met Tahar, right?
Yes. Have you ever lost someone, General? Someone who was the world to you?
Yes.
Then maybe you know how it feels. That kind of pain. It never goes away. Every day it's like I'm walking through this fog. And while I know I'm alone, I can still see their silhouettes up ahead, reminding me of what once was, and what could have been if I hadn't murdered them. Syeth was also an intelligence scholar, and we worked together in the laboratory. Just a few weeks before I came here, I found out that she'd been to a village the Bloodburn had infested long before it came to ours. So I shifted the blame onto her. Had she told me how dangerous the Bloodburn was, I would have fled with the others, I told myself. It was nonsense, of course, and she was right. I ignored the warning signs even when they became so evident that she left. And all because I was too arrogant to abandon my research. I killed them.
You didn't kill them, Wraith. You made a mistake.
The result's the same.
I know we hardly know each other, but still, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here.
Thank you. But I never saw the point of talking. What does it change? I guess if there really is a silver lining to everything, then mine is that their death made me realize something. Ultimately, we're on our own. As long as you make your purpose for living something outside of your control, you're doomed to lose it all eventually. I'll never make that mistake again. Anyway, I've been rambling on for too long. I hope I satisfied your curiosity, General. I will see you on the next mission.
Looking for potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need.
Farewell.
Over here. This way. What's this? Keep it up. What do we have here?
General, is there anything I can help you with?
Is Her Majesty free to see me? I'm ready to discuss further steps.
She is indeed. Let me inform our allies.
Well then, let us pick up where we left off. You managed to find answers to all of our questions. That is commendable. We are facing a group of rogue sleepers called the Dark Crescent, who are trying to bring the God of Light back into our world to invoke an ancient Aliani prophecy, Jakku. And apparently, Jakku depends on 4 people who the God of Light has made his tools, with or without their knowledge. Am I correct, Kayawu?
The corrupted, yes. If we stop them, we stop Jakku. At least I hope so.
Which leads us back to the big question. How do we figure out who the corrupted are? Lacane was one, that much is certain. And the masked woman, in all likelihood, is one too. But the other 2? We are still guessing. Not to mention that we still do not know if the Dark Crescent has a base of operations of sorts. And if yes, where it is.
Your men are still on the Crescent's tail, aren't they, Catrus?
Like a priest chasing the hem of a virgin's skirt, yeah. But so far, all we know is that the Crescent are running around Calibrock, Greyfell and Everlight, breaking into homes and stores as though they're looking for something. All this while they're roaming the country, siphoning people for this hoard of souls. According to my reports, they raised at least 2 more villages. One in Nortanda, one in La.
All the more reason to find out where they are hiding.
As I said, we're on it.
Wraith, when we came back from the Howling Steps, didn't you say you might have an idea how to...
Figure out the corrupted identities. Yes, I was just about to come to that. It's a shot in the dark, but probably our best option. Your Majesty, may I?
Please.
Good. Remember when I told you of the Tapestry of Souls? An ocean of lights in darkness, representing every consciousness. If my theory is right, these corrupted souls would look and feel different than normal ones. Anomalies. If I was somehow able to glance into the tapestry long enough, I might be able to identify them. There's only one problem. Doing this would require a great deal of magical energy.
Could we call back the other circle mages to help you?
Can we afford to lose that much time? No, I think there's a different way. The Jade Staff. It's an artifact a Hibernian prince used for his experiments. All the sources point to a temple in Old Hellu, up north. What could make this expedition even more worthwhile is that this Hibernian prince is reputed to have been fascinated with the Veil and other realities. Maybe we could also find new information about the God of Light there.
You said you noticed patterns in the Tapestry of Souls. Wouldn't you have found these anomalies before?
I didn't look for them. And considering how many souls there are on Io, noticing 4 odd ones among them by pure chance would be like spotting 4 black grains of sand in a desert.
Do you think the Hibernians knew something about the God of Light?
It's possible, considering the God of Light figures in many of Io's religions. I guess we'll see.
So we have to retrieve the artifact from Old Hellu in order for you to identify the corrupted.
Try to identify the corrupted. As I said, I can't guarantee this will work. What do you think, Your Majesty?
It seems like our best option. Go then. The Quartermaster will provide you with the resources for the expedition. And whatever you do, be careful. A Hibernian temple that's been vacant for so long is apt to be dangerous.
this?
Yes, General?
Thanks for the chat.
Of course. Listen for the storm.
General.
I'll be going. We'll speak later.
Sure.
Yes. Out of the way. Interesting. Someone posted a new bounty. Sounds promising. What's this?
Yes, yes, come closer. I'm sure I have just what you need. You know how to bargain, don't you?
Ugh. Why is everything still spinning?
Want to get a drink?
Sure, but you're buying this time.
Ugh. Why is everything still spinning?
See you later, Rara.
See ya.